From the United Nations in New York, a world of love. Tonight, International Paper Company invites you to join Julie Andrews, Harry Belafonte, Richard Burton, Florence Henderson, Audrey Hepburn, Barbra Streisand, Paul Sills Story Theater, and your hosts, Bill Cosby and Shirley MacLaine.
Welcome to New York.
It's usually fairly warm and tropical in California at Christmas time as well. It took me a little while to get used to it because I was born in England in a town called Walton-on-Thames. I shall always remember my early English Christmases, the decorations, the huge stores, the lights in Regent Street, and that marvelous smell that wafted through the house as those special once-a-year goodies were prepared. Plum puddings, special cakes, and the excitement of seeing those mysterious packages disappearing into the closet under the stairs. There was the heavenly odor of the pine tree that spread through the rooms and the distant caroling of the singers outside. We hung our stockings, we lit the Yule log, we did all those things that children in many places do at this time of the year. But we did something so special that it is what I think of when I think of Christmases in England. We went to the pantomime. Now this is always a children's story with songs and dances. There are many theaters all over England where pantomimes take place, and at some point, whether there was really a legitimate reason for it or not, all the nursery rhyme characters arrived, the good ones and the naughty ones, and we were always delighted to see them. Characters like Puss in Boots, Simple Simon, Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, and of course our favorite animals, the Bremen Town musicians. A great many of the Christmas customs which we follow here in America came to us from Great Britain. The plum puddings, the Yule log, and a lot of our Christmas carols. Even our use of the mistletoe came to us from the ancient Druids. Richard Burton has written a story about a special Christmas when he was a little boy in Wales. Most of the Christmases of my childhood in Wales seem the same.
But one of them I remember particularly because it departed from the seemingly inexorable ritual. On this eve of Christmas, Mad Dan, my uncle, the local agnostic, feared for his belief but revered for his brilliantly active vocabulary in the half-alien English tongue, sat in our kitchen with a group of men and with biting scourge and pithy whip.
While our splendid youngsters are demonstrating for one of the world's great needs, let's see what's happened to our children's clock. We've been on the air 50 minutes, and in that time, over 10,000 children have been born in the developing countries, and 200 of those new babies will die before they are a year old. Of the 9,800 left who have just been born, most will know severe hunger and the permanent scars that malnutrition leaves. Most will know diseases which modern science is now able to prevent or cure.
Of those who are able to enter school, only a little over 1,600 will finish the elementary grades, which seems a great pity for our 10,000 children who have been born in the past hour to dwindle down to just 1,600 who are even roughly prepared for adulthood and able to contribute to their country's progress. This is a dismal picture, but it is changing thanks to UNICEF.
UNICEF helps governments establish long-range programs which will be of permanent benefit to children. And of course, when there's a catastrophe, such as the earthquake in Peru or the typhoon in East Pakistan, then emergency aid is provided.
The main work lies in projects in the fields of health, disease control, nutrition, education, and vocational training. For instance, since UNICEF began, over 283 million children have been vaccinated against tuberculosis.
UNICEF is financed by the voluntary contributions of governments and of groups and individuals throughout the world. A country receiving UNICEF's assistance must share in the financial support of that project.
Last year, UNICEF had only $47 million to work with. The entire world spends $182 billion on armaments, but only $47 million for UNICEF to save the lives of its children, who are, after all, our hope for the future of the world. We ask all of you within the sound of our voices, and particularly at this season of the year, to think of your own children and to contribute as much as you can to help the world's children. Children as real as your own.